Oh, good afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon, actually. It's about 4:35, 4:40, someplace in there. And I'm a happy camper. The Yankees won. Soto hit a home run. Judge hit two. Stanton hit one. And we'll see how things continue to go. Now, all I have to see is whether the New York Giants can win a game or two during the season, and life would be good. Uh, Enough said. So my name is Dr. Richard Bernato, Bernato, spelled with a T. It's not with Narto or Nardo, although sometimes I know it sounds like that. It's Bernato or Bernato if you want to use that pronunciation, although that's not a correct from an Italian's perspective, I don't think. So it's Rich Bernato. I've been a professor of leadership and education for I don't know how many years, and I think in my introduction to you that I wrote out briefly and emailed everybody maybe about a week ago. I've been in education, the business of education, the world of education, the life of education, the aspiration, the vocation of education for longer than any of you have been alive, I think. And I'm not bragging about that necessarily. You can tell from the beard that I'm obviously getting up there a little bit, but at the same time, I, I'm trying. What I think where I'm coming from more than anything else is that I have a passion and a fervor that's I think kind of unusual to a certain extent. I'm sort of proud of that transcends what my age may be, and it's colored by uh, my experiences and my contributions. And I'm not here to brag about that all that specifically. Um, this is kind of an organization video, and it will be uploaded to Canvas as soon as I can sometime this afternoon, and it will. You should watch this video. If you, obviously, if you are watching it, you obviously need to watch the video to get a handle, your arms around the kinds of things that need to be addressed before a course kicks off. So I'll just kind of jibber jabber at you. I'm not sure how long this will take. I also have two other modules. I'll show you that. So let me share the screen. And it's the first time I've done Zoom in a couple of months, and sometimes I lose my fastball with Zoom. So just bear with me. Already I know I'm hurting. So I go back and start again. Oh, starting again. Bear with me. So let me move you over here. Let me open up the syllabus. That would help. That's not the syllabus. Where is the syllabus? Getting closer, I promise you. Here is the syllabus. Now I'll go back and I'll share the screen. And now we're in business. Okie doke. Syllabus is posted in Canvas. I'm presuming that all of you have had experience with Canvas. Uh, I work in this learning management system along with a couple of others from other universities. I find this a little clumsy, and I find it sometimes a little bit arbitrary, but that's more my problem than yours. So first of all, I'll point out something I'll have to fix. I have the word draft there. This is not a draft. This is the syllabus. Uh, and here we go. And the syllabus is more or less identical to that of the other professors who teach this. We have pretty much a standardized syllabus. And for the most part, I'm certainly happy to be cooperative and collaborative as far as what the syllabus may say, although I didn't have any input whatsoever in this particular syllabus. Nonetheless, um, nonetheless, here we go. So I'm going to read at you a bit for a bit. You have this. You should be looking at this carefully. So we're in Memorial University, and this is the wrong syllabus. No, I'm sorry. It is the right syllabus. School District Leader Program. In other words, if you're in this course, you are seeking certification in the school district program out of state education, and which will give you the enable you to earn the license and validation to obtain a position in the district leader corner of school administration, of school leadership, district leadership, and having been a district administrator for and a number of different roles across my educational lifetime, ending as assistant superintendent for educational services, which was more nearly one of about curriculum instruction, but also encompassed other premises, but any number of other responsibilities and activities and experiences. That's why I'm here to teach the course. And so the title of the course is 5700, and it's strategic planning and organizational change. And this is where I talk about Bernardo for a moment and say, this is my meat. This is what I care most about at this point in my career. To me, it's all about strategic planning and organizational change. I'll probably say this more than once. This will be the first time I will say it to you, and that would be, in my mind, it's the second most important course in any leadership certification program. The first one is supervision of instruction, supervision and nurturing and development of all staff to meet the needs of the children through the structure and organizational capacities of the school district or the building, and certainly in that those cases as well. Which by the way implies that these premises also cut in strategic planning and organizational change are not exclusive to curriculum instruction, but are instead virtually everything you can think of in one form or another. And I can give you plenty of war stories about that along the way. So that's my name, Dr. Richard Bernardo. There's my email address. That's how you're supposed to contact me. And there's my home. There's my cell number, 631-848-0316. I'm almost never on campus as such. This is an online course, and I'm out here in mid-central Suffolk, and I'm not expected to be on campus except for certain events. And so if you need to find me, that's the best way to find me. Now, if you want to find me, and I'm happy to be found, I would ask that you don't find me on Sundays, especially as the football season kicks in, because I get rather attached to my Sunday football passions, which mostly include the Giants, unfortunately, but also somewhat include the Jets and any other team, and my three football fantasy teams that I'm responsible for. So I like my Sunday there. Now, if you have to get to me one way or another on a Sunday, then by all means do that. But I just ask that you don't if you can help it. The other, even on Saturdays, you can call me, you can text me, you can FaceTime me, you can Facebook me, not Facebook. What's the other one? I forgot the other ways. There are visual ways you can contact a person, and you reach out to me, and I'll get back to you. That's a promise. I'll get back to you before you know it. You can and email is actually the way I like to be contacted, but I have no problem with texting, and if the situation warrants it, and sometimes it does, I'll be happy to use this forum, the visual forum, namely through Zoom, to speak with you by all means. I only ask that you also during the weekdays and even on Saturday if I'm around. Don't really, I mean, after 9 o'clock, please don't contact me again, unless it's a heaven forbid. And I hope that we don't have any of those. After 9 or 8, let's make that 7 o'clock. After 7 p.m., please don't call unless I need to know something. Some kind of issue that's a core crisis, and I don't want you to have any of these that you need to share with me for assistance from me. Then by all means, so I'm very accessible. I promise you that. I kind of pride myself on that. Now, I'm not going to read this to you, the course description. but I guess I will just a little bit, so bear with me. Of course, is an in-depth analysis of issues related to organizational change, and what it will help you as a participant to understand the nature and the applications of strategic planning. I don't like the word strategic planning. You'll hear me say that about 1,000 times, but for the moment, we'll go with that premise because most people understand the idea behind what strategic planning is, except I don't think most change is. It's neither strategic nor planning in many cases. And bottom line is that what we need to have you acquire is the ability to think, decide, and plan strategically. That is to say, long range, not tomorrow, but long range. And that could be out as much as 10 years from the moment that you're trying to consider an issue. And we'll come back to that another day. So you'll be guided in developing and sustaining an educational vision for the district. Again, that vision word gives me a rash sometimes because most people don't know exactly what that means. But when we're done, you'll know what I mean by it and hope that you share the same point of view. So it's going to, the course will enable you to see how you can initiate and implement shared goals. Now, that's in certain senses, if you think, kind of misleading. You implement and then you share. Is that sharing? We'll come back to that a little bit in another video, I promise. How you're going to communicate that, key piece to all of this, and where the theories fit in. Yes, there are theories. There are plenty of theories about change. They all kind of sort of intersect with each other. And we'll try to find where the commons are. And where I think a given theory or point of view stands alone, I will point that out. In fact, I enjoy doing that. So you need to be aware of those things. Doesn't mean you need to put them under your pillow at night, but it means you need to be conversant in those, especially when you're communicating change issues back out to the district that you serve, your boards, general public meetings that you're at, and so forth. And that's pretty important, especially in terms of the conflict issues that often come with change implementation. And we're talking more also very specifically about nurturing the relationships with all the stakeholders and having to believe in them with all my heart. And we'll be pressing that premise at you from any number of places. How to analyze a strategic plan, how to understand it, and how to construct one is a key outcome of what this course is about. It's a 3-credit course. There are field experience hours that I think are associated with this course. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to check on that for you, but somebody like Letitia, who I had in another class, will have no problem reminding me about that. And so premises begin to apply. This is a school district leader advanced certificate program. And I'm not going to read you that paragraph. I certainly embrace everything it says, and we go with that. We'll spend some time on the objectives. I don't agree with all these objectives, but it's not like I don't agree with them. It's just I don't necessarily see the emphasis to the extent that they're here, but certainly I will address all of them. Sometimes you won't know that I'm addressing them, but until they fall out of the tree or you wake up in the middle of the night and think about something connected to these. But they certainly have importance. I don't think this is an exhaustive list. I'm not sure it's in the priority order, too. And so we'll work with that as it moves along. So yes, you're going to discuss major research. You are going to, I don't like that verb understand, but you're going to recognize, be able to talk about the importance of strategic planning. You're going to be able to recognize the premises behind developing collaborative leadership, which is something people talk about but aren't necessarily very good at. We'll talk more about that in another video this week. You're going to look at some case studies, I should say. You're going to analyze issues connected to strategic planning, and there are plenty, more than we can shake a stick at, and I want you to share those with me along the way. You're going to be able to construct a strategic plan. A basic one. You're going to see how it's done. In fact, I wouldn't see a superintendent writing a strategic plan. I would think that she would charge her of our central office folks, connected also, along also with a cross-section of the community to do that for her and with her guidance and facilitation. But nonetheless, that's the premise behind that. Seems to make sense. You're going to recognize some of the issues associated with strategic planning. We will have, I wish we had more time to talk more about that. And you're going to be able to construct a written plan of communication of whatever ideas emerge from our various dialogues, as well as, again, talk about communication. Now, the topics that are key: change. Hello. What we mean by change, we haven't defined, and we're not going to do that in this particular video. Who and what the change leader or leaders is or are, a big issue. And there's another word there that's really an important word: sustainable education reform. There's plenty of changes we can put in place, but if they don't have the structural underpinnings to keep them in motion and to support them, then the plan doesn't work. This is my word: recognize a futures-based model for innovative and sustainable long-term change. And there's the key word there is the futures-based. And we'll speak about that just about every time you hear from me, that word will come up. Understand the implication and opportunities of cultural differences, something that's got to be paid attention to, because that is driving so much of the need for deep-rooted strategic change in the tri-state area, certainly. And I think you're probably more experientially associated with that than I am at this moment in my own day-to-day leadership approaches. You're going to analyze, you're going to be able to, again, analyze elements of a strategic plan. Again, the key word in number 8 is engaging building leaders. Engaging. Now, people don't always know what engage means. All right, and we will talk about that in this week, actually, that's coming up, but it will also be something that you'll thread throughout the course. And a big issue with strategic plans, and just about anyone you ever speak to who has any experience with developing and implementing a strategic plan will tell you that the hardest part is sustaining it, and the hardest part is evaluating it. And that's an issue we will pay a lot of attention to, because I think the leaders drop the ball on that and get away with it, which is very unfortunate. Now, as far as required texts are concerned, I'm always reluctant to make people spend money on books, even though I understand the importance of them. But these books have value, and that is all. I'm going to use them every week with you. Some I will use just about every week, and others should be just at your fingertips. But nonetheless, they have importance. For example, the APA publication manual is the format, the writing style of the expectation that every college in the country pretty much embraces. Not all, but just about the ones I'm familiar with. So you need to know how to use APA to write in a scholarly way. And so you need the book. You can probably also use it from an online approach. And you wouldn't just use that book for this course. You would use that across all of the courses that you have. The Foreman book, the Ken Foreman Soloff book, Preparing for Education and Leadership, we're not going to use specifically, but we're going to use. And again, that's the kind of book you want in your pocket or in your bookshelf, on your bookshelves professionally, because, and I don't want to demean the book. I know Ken Foreman very well and admire this particular book, because this book is a kind of review book, a Regents preparation book for the certification exam. I don't like to talk about the certification exam because then I feel like I'm teaching to a test. And didn't like doing that when I was a curriculum leader, and I don't like doing it now. But it's a helpful book. My own daughter is in a leadership program, not this one, and they making her get that book. And she said, "Do I need that book?" I said, "I have the book on my bookcase. You can have mine." But I said, "Yes, you do need the book." So I told my own daughter to have it, and you should have it as well. I would say that the key book we're going to use is the Fullen book. Uh, Michael Fullen, I would say right now he's the acknowledged, universal, recognized spokesperson for quality change approaches, and has the background and the record to demonstrate that he's been successful with it in a number of different places. He's written a lot of different books, and I just think it's interesting that Malloy University argued for this book, The New Meaning of Educational Change, which is the 5th edition. And the more I read the book, because I wasn't familiar with this particular book, I read just about all of his other ones, I can see that it's got thoughtful meaning to it. And so we're going to use the book, as you'll see as we march through the syllabus in a moment. The book will be used, and you do need the book. I myself have gotten it through my Kindle, and so in case you don't want to spend whatever the difference is between having the print copy and having the Kindle copy, sometimes the Kindle copies, the electronic versions, I think have more utility because you can highlight them, and then the Kindle, for example, will save the highlights for you and put them in a separate place. It gives you room to write comments. So there's some nice features to an electronic book that I think have great worth. But it doesn't matter to me which one you use because well, I'm working out of the 5th edition, but I'm working out of the Kindle edition, just so you know. The standards book is I don't know if you need that one so specifically, and you do need the leadership case studies book too. And I will be using it sporadically through the course. I'm not going to use it every week. I'm not going to assign it, I don't think, for any specific premise necessarily or that often. So you just know that it's a book you should have because we will be addressing it in different places. But it's not a book we're going to use throughout the week. If you're looking for a book that's going to carry you through the course, and I don't want you to think this is the only one you should be getting, but I will say the priority would be the Fullen book without any doubt. Okay. And also, I was going to require my well, I have 4 books listed here that I've written or written with colleagues, and I was going to require my newest one, which literally just came out a month ago, because the book fits like a glove with this course. And I just didn't want to have you people, I didn't want to require that you get it because I didn't know if, I just didn't know if I should or not. So I didn't require it. If I had a magic wand, I would require it. I highly recommend that you get the book because using the book will be of great value to you to practically be able to implement any kind of change. What I'm going to try to do, and I'll come back to this in a moment, is I'm going to try to take aspects of the book and put it into the live synchronous classes that we have for 4 times. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but I'm going to give it my all, starting on September 5th. The other book, and the second book, so again, the first one's called Co-Creating the Future. It's a simulation of leadership implementation. And something you want a school leader or a school change agent, district school change agent, or even an organizational school change agent would put into place to put people in groups and to simulate an implementation of school change so that they'll make the mistakes that people often make because they don't practice it in a simulated approach before they take it to the streets. And it's, again, I'm very proud of this particular book. I'm calling it my Mona Lisa, and I think it's got tremendous value and recommend highly that you put it into your professional library. But do understand that I'm going to use the book, but I'm not going to require that you have the book. The second book written by myself, Drs. Al Pisano and Anthony Annunziato, called The Collective Mindset, has broad value to this course and broad value across all of your other courses. And hear the title, Collective Mindset. It's about engaging people to engage each other, to empower each other to do what needs to be done in terms of their cultural issues and organizational issues. So it's got, I would say it's got great great application for this course. Futuring is planning. Planning as futuring is, again, specific to how you would implement a futures-based change. It's specifically about social media policy, but it's easily broadly applied to across the board any change issue. And the 2017 book is my second Mona Lisa, I would say, and that would be called Futures-Based Change Leadership. And what that does is sort of take the co-creating, sort of the godfather of the co-creating book, and gives you a lot of background to a lot of different premises and skill sets that you would want to have in your toolkit in order for you to be a good change agent leader. Bowman and Deal, I always recommend Bowman and Deal. I'll be talking about, I'm not saying you have to buy it, but there are plenty of YouTube's videos, and I'll probably be using a couple that speak to what Bowman and Deal talk about. Basically, they're talking about how you need to understand an organization before you can change it. And I think that's got great help. Another Fulham book there from Change Lead. I think that book's a little too old. The Journal of Educational Change. It has, I would recommend for different specific articles. And the other two books I'm going to, again, if I had your checkbook, I would be spending your money on these books. So I recommend that you get these books for your professional library. If not this minute, get them across your lifetime, even when you become full-fledged district administrators. And that would be Edgar Schein, Organizational Culture. I'm going to refer to him umpteen times about his premise of what we mean by culture. Not culture-based issues. It's not about that. It's about organizational. It's about school and any organization's culture, why they do what they do. Yes, the issues of cultural awareness and relevance can be keyed into this book, but it's not about that specific. So it's more esoteric than that, I guess, is the best word I could think of. Peter Senge is also one of my professional idols, and we'll talk about him in the first week and all throughout the course. He's written several books about what we call a learning organization, which keys back to Shine and what a culture of a district, of a building or a district is all about. I think of all the books he's written, this is the most relevant and useful to a school leader, because it's about schools that choose to examine themselves for their practices, schools that learn about themselves in order to change. So I think it's got some great value. So again, the required books are the required books. I would, excuse me, strongly recommend that you use some of the other ones, one way or another. The grading policy is the Malloy grading policy. Certainly you're expected to be academically truthful to yourself and to us. The course requirements are plain here. Now you can see, you begin to see what the activities are. There's not, rather the assignments, not a whole lot of assignments. I was tempted to give more than what the syllabus was calling for, but I decided not to do that because I want you to throw your energy into two places particularly. One would be class participation. Now, again, we'll talk more about that. There's that engagement word again. There's going to be discussion questions, sometimes more than one. The first week there are two. One is just one where you describe who you are and why you're here, introduce yourself to me and to your colleagues. And the second one is more specific to the material of the first week. I don't remember it off the top of my head what I expected, but it's there. Now, what you are expected to do is to write to it, to find text, or to use material I've given you, or even any of the videos like this that I will be giving you, to quote, to demonstrate and validate and substantiate from a scholarly point of view the points of view you're maybe sharing out. And I think you've heard this before from just about every professor you've had, because it's a, and I require it too, is you need to respond to other people's points of view. You don't have to write a big dissertation back to somebody, but I do expect you to respond to two people every week. And I'll be looking for that because that's going to be one way I'll be gauging the extent to which you are participating. The second premise, and the one we're going to pay a lot of attention to in lots of different ways, is you're going to complete a strategic plan. Not a real one, rough out. No, I wouldn't call it rough out. You're going to construct a model strategic plan. And I am going to show you how to do that, kicking and screaming all the way through the course. So you'll know what a strategic plan looks like, what the features are, and how you would to come to that point. Part of it will include SMART goals, but presuming you know what I'm talking about there. And I'm going to skip some of this other stuff. You can see that the course, well, the goals have to be written from a SMART, SMART point of view. But class participation is 30%, and 50% of the course is the strategic plan outline and a final discussion question that you'll get. Again, you're supposed to use APA. You need to be here. Now, by that, I mean you need to participate every week. And how will I know you're participating every week? Because you're going to do post-discussion responses every week. Sometimes more than one, most of the time one. Sometimes more than one if I feel a need to do something like that. So you need to do that. You need to be present, even though this is mostly an asynchronous course. You need to be present to be able to do that. And generally not too much of a hard nose about when something is due, but if you answer week one's question in week 6, I'm going to have a problem with that. So I'm not asking you again to write big long dissertations. You're supposed to demonstrate to me that you've done roughly 2 hours worth of 2 hours a week worth of work, and that includes reading the book, whatever the reading assignments are, and whatever the videos are I may assign, and be able to write the discussion. That's what a course should look like if this were a synchronous in-class approach for that matter. So that's absolutely necessary. And you also need to be present. I'm going to use the word physically, but I'm not sure how that applies in a synchronous class. You have to be present for the four meeting dates that I've been told to assign those dates. And so the dates are below. We'll talk about that in a moment. You can't be driving in your car and talking with one hand and driving with the other. You don't talk with a hand, do you? But I'm kind of flexible on that. If you're stuck in traffic and you're trying to get from point X to point Y, I get that. But you have to be present each of the 4 days. If you miss a day, I'll be taking attendance after a fashion. If you miss a day, you're going to make it up. I'm not sure what that means right now. I'll decide that with you. Or if I excuse you because you have a heaven forbid, or some sort of unavoidable excuse, then I listen, and I will certainly be flexible to work with you on that. But you'll have to make up the class somehow or another, and we'll do that individually depending on the circumstances that we talk to. If you have any sort of learning disability or something I need to know about, my lawyer will usually tell me in advance if they're aware of a person with a learning issue. But if I don't have a name, and right now I don't have any, I'd appreciate it if you just drop me a confidential note, and I will certainly make that happen. If I record anything, it will be uploaded to Canvas in the documents or the content area. So everything I do like this will be uploaded. Will happen on that account. I just talked about disabilities. Again, if you're going to email me at the Malloy address. You should read those other premises. The course begins on the 4th, right? That's next week sometime. All right. And then the Zoom dates that's the synchronous meeting dates. Someone emailed me the other day and had a different date and had a different time. So understand, these are the official dates. And that would be this next Tuesday, I think it is. Alexa, what day is on September 5th?
September 5th, 2024 is on a Thursday.
Okay, it's on a Thursday. So the course begins on Wednesday the 4th, and we're going to be on the following day, synchronously, presently online, okay? From 6:45 to 8:45. So it'll be on the September 5th, October 10th, November 7th, and December 12th. I sent the link for next week's meeting, and I'll probably use the same link all the way through. But right now, that's the link for next week. So around 6:45-ish, let's call it 6:40. You get on, and then you link up, and I'll be there greeting you somehow or another. If you notice that on the Zoom link it says 6:30, that's because my scheduler doesn't do 45s, like 6:45, so I had to say 6:30, but it's 6:45. Okay, and we've gone through some of this already, and then I'm only going to do the first week here, and you're going to see more about this very soon. We have two discussion questions this week coming. One is introducing yourself, and the second one is here it is down here. Define educational change, identify and explain two important factors that impact educational change. I'll be talking more about that in another video tomorrow. Okay, and then don't worry about the rest of these things. I have some of the extra weeks in here, but just let that go for the moment. And then you'll see I have the rest of the week's discussion questions in here, but it's really way ahead of yourself here. So just let that. This premise here. Tomorrow, the day after, on Thursday, one of the things you'll be doing is taking this survey. If you want to do the survey ahead of time and score yourself, that's fine. But I'm going to ask you, have you all have this completed next Thursday? And you'll see how to score it, and that'll get us off the ground for what we're doing. Okay? So this first week coming up, you need to get the book, the Fulham book. At minimum, get the Fulham book and read the first two chapters. You'll see that there's a PowerPoint that's going to, it's not posted yet. Oh, yes, it is posted, actually. PowerPoint's posted. And we'll go for that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go from this to the content. Let's make sure we understand all of this. I sometimes get these botched up myself. I almost always have announcements. I think I posted two already. The assignments are not posted yet. I just realized that as I'm saying this. I will post the assignments, but you don't need to worry about that straight away. The discussion questions, I believe, are posted already, both of them, for this coming week. Needn't worry about grades. These are the people in the course. I guess you can see that. The syllabus we're looking at now. There's a rubric. I'm not sure if I put the rubric in yet. Let's go to modules. You'll see I have a module for this coming week, for next week. It's flipped. It's not in the right order. So module 1, week 1 is the lesson agenda. Now the lesson agenda, I'm going to bring it up real fast, but I'm not going to belabor it. Is my lesson plan. I'm old-fashioned that way. I still write lesson plans. And this is my lesson plan for this next week. Some of it's repetitious. These are the goals for the week. These are the sources we'll be using. And what I'm going to do. Now you see I have number 4 is for Thursday, not for the week. It's for Thursday. And I'm not going to read that to you so specifically now, but we'll put it in yellow so you can see what we're going to try to do next week. That's what you're going to see every week. All right. Every week you'll see an agenda. And that's what that is. Now, I just want to show you something else if I can figure out how to do it. And then the other module, I'm sorry, yeah, the other one, the second module is the PowerPoint. I'm going to do a narration of that. Although you don't really need that, I'm going to do a narration of that. Very simple. I'm not trying to overdo it, but my narration will, fill in some of the gaps the PowerPoints typically premise. Now, one thing I just want to point out, if you have the time, and I'm not telling you have to do it, you should go to the YouTube link and take a look at the link. That will help you understand a lot of things about systems thinking that you had never thought of before. And then I deliberately put some of the other authors in there that I thought were important. And that's it. It's a very brief video, or rather a very brief PowerPoint, but it's intended just to help you match Fullen and his points with my points, okay, with the discussion question. But essentially what you need to do as we come up, as I'm wrapping this up, is you need to melt those pieces together, because we're looking at what change issues are you thinking about? I don't know where you work. I know where one person works. I know she works up in Westchester, and she's got some very wonderful opinions about lots of things. Had her in another class last spring, and you know who you are, Letitia. I'm looking forward to having you again. And so we're going to try to pinpoint some issues that require some aggressive, I'm not sure if aggressive is the right adjectives, some changes that you need to, that you think need to be considered. Or if you're looking for, and I prefer that you go for the or, but that's not like I'm going to put a gum between your eyes to do this. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about? Does your building, or I'm sorry, does your district need wholesale change? Start from zero change? My instinct is always yes. Take a grenade and blow it up and start all over again. That's just where I come from, having been in consulting places where that's where it needed to happen. But I would suspect that most of you would say, no, we're pretty good on this or not so good on that. And so that's okay too. You'll understand some of the yardsticks we're going to use to make that happen anyway. So enough said. This video will go up sometime this evening. My wife is making me dinner as we speak. So I hope to meet you all soon. Please do the first discussion question as soon as the Canvas opens. I don't know, never know when those things happen, but as soon as Canvas is open, feel free to respond to me. I think it is open because one person did actually post a response last week. So I presume it is open, and I'll be continuing to flesh it out as we go along. Pleasure to talk to you, even if it was just a talking head from me. Yeah, but it was a pleasure to kick off the course. Take care.